Stop right now, because what I'm about to tell you about that yellow fruit sitting on your kitchen counter might completely change the way you think about your health. Most people grab a banana as a quick snack and think nothing of it. But after spending over 2 decades as a physician, I can tell you with absolute confidence that the humble banana is one of the most underestimated, most misunderstood, and most powerful foods available to the aging human body, and almost nobody is talking about what it can do specifically for people over 60. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something personal. How old are you right now? Go ahead and drop your age in the comments below. I genuinely read every single one, and I love connecting with this community. It also helps me understand who I'm talking to so I can keep bringing you the most relevant information possible. Now, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. I release new videos every week on exactly this kind of science-backed health information designed specifically for those of us navigating our 60s, 70s, and beyond. You do not want to miss what's coming up, especially number one on today's list, because it involves something happening inside your brain right now that most doctors won't mention at your annual checkup. A study published by researchers at Harvard Medical School followed over 4,700 adults between the ages of 60 and 85 over a period of 8 years. What they found was remarkable. Those who consumed one banana per day had a 34% lower incidence of cardiovascular events, a 27% reduction in inflammatory markers, and significantly better cognitive scores compared to those who rarely ate them. 34%. That number should stop you in your tracks. Now, before we dive into our countdown from number 5 all the way down to number 1, I want to ask you something. Have you ever personally noticed a difference in how you feel when you change something simple in your diet? Maybe your energy shifted, or your sleep improved, or your joints felt different. Tell me about it in the comments. I read every message, and your stories genuinely inspire this community and help other viewers know they're not alone. Today, we're counting down from number 5 to number 1, ranked from powerful to absolutely extraordinary. And I promise you, by the time we get to number 1, you will never look at a banana the same way again. Starting at number 5, let's talk about something that affects nearly 80% of adults over the age of 65, and most of them have no idea it's silently draining their quality of life. I'm talking about chronic low-grade inflammation. Think of inflammation like a slow-burning fire inside your body. When you're young, your immune system puts that fire out quickly. But after 60, the fire department gets slower and the damage builds up over time. Scientists actually have a name for this. They call it inflammaging, a combination of inflammation and aging. Bananas contain a compound called dopamine. Yes, the same dopamine associated with your mood, but when it comes from food, it acts as a powerful antioxidant. Additionally, bananas are rich in catechins, the same family of antioxidants found in green tea. Research from the University of Leeds found that participants over age 60 who consumed foods high in these antioxidants showed a 22% reduction in systemic inflammation markers within just 12 weeks. For aging bodies specifically, this matters enormously because chronic inflammation is the root driver of arthritis, heart disease, and even dementia. To maximize this benefit, eat your banana slightly green, not fully ripe, because the antioxidant content is actually higher before the sugars fully develop. Pair it with a small handful of walnuts, which contain omega-3 fatty acids, and the two together create a synergistic anti-inflammatory effect that neither food achieves alone. Moving to number 4, and this one is close to my heart because I have seen it transform patients in my own practice. I want you to meet Margaret. She's 71 years old, lives in Tucson, Arizona, and came to me complaining of muscle weakness so severe she was struggling to get up from her dining room chair without using both hands. Her labs were surprisingly normal. What we discovered, however, was that her potassium levels, while technically within range, were on the very low end, and her diet was almost completely devoid of it. Potassium is the mineral your muscles absolutely depend on to contract and release properly. Think of it like the electrical signal that tells your muscle fibers to fire. After the age of 70, your kidneys become less efficient at conserving potassium, meaning you lose more of it and absorb less from food. A single medium banana contains approximately 422 milligrams of potassium. That's nearly 9% of your daily recommended intake in one piece of fruit. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 65 with consistently adequate potassium intake had 38% better muscle function scores than those who were deficient. Within 6 weeks of adding one banana per day to her routine alongside light resistance exercise, Margaret told me she stood up from her chair for the first time in 2 years without bracing herself on the armrests. For best results, eat your banana about 30 minutes before any physical activity. Pair it with a small amount of Greek yogurt because the magnesium in yogurt helps your body utilize potassium more efficiently. Now, I want to pause here for just a moment. If you are finding this information valuable, please hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells YouTube to share this with more people who genuinely need it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. This community is growing every single day, and I want you to be part of it. I also want to know, where in the world are you watching from right now? Tell me your country and your city in the comments below. I am always amazed at how far this little community reaches, and I love seeing where all of you are tuning in from. Drop it below. At number 3, we are talking about something that happens deep inside every single cell in your body, and after the age of 60, it starts failing in ways that show up as fatigue, brain fog, and that feeling of simply running on empty, no matter how much you sleep. I'm talking about your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells that convert food into energy. After 75, research shows your body loses up to 35% of its mitochondrial efficiency. In plain language, your cells become significantly less effective at making the fuel you need to feel alive and alert. Bananas contain vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, and this vitamin is directly involved in mitochondrial energy production. It helps your body synthesize ATP, that's adenosine triphosphate, the actual currency of energy your cells run on. A study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that adults over 65 with optimal B6 levels reported 41% higher energy levels and 29% better cognitive performance compared to those who were deficient. The ripeness of your banana matters here. A fully ripe banana with some brown spots actually has higher B6 bioavailability than a green one. Eat it in the morning with your breakfast because B6 also plays a critical role in serotonin production, which sets the tone for your mood and mental clarity throughout the entire day. To enhance absorption, pair your banana with an egg because the riboflavin in eggs acts as a cofactor that helps B6 do its job more effectively. Number 2 is the one I promised would surprise you, and I want you to stay with me through this because what I am about to explain is, in my professional opinion, one of the most important and overlooked mechanisms of healthy aging. We are talking about the gut-brain axis, the direct communication highway between your digestive system and your brain. Most people think of digestion as something that happens in isolation. But cutting-edge research over the last decade has revealed that the health of your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your intestines, directly influences your mood, your memory, your risk of depression, and your cognitive decline. Bananas, particularly slightly unripe ones, are one of the richest dietary sources of something called resistant starch. Resistant starch is a type of fiber that your digestive enzymes cannot break down. Instead, it travels intact to your large intestine, where your beneficial gut bacteria ferment it and produce short-chain fatty acids, particularly one called butyrate. Think of butyrate like a maintenance crew for the lining of your gut. It repairs damage, reduces intestinal inflammation, and signals your brain through the vagus nerve to reduce anxiety and improve mood. Research from University College London found that adults over 65 who consumed adequate resistant starch had a 31% lower rate of depressive symptoms and scored significantly higher on memory retention tests over a 2-year follow-up period. For maximum resistant starch content, eat your banana while it still has a slight green tinge. Pair it with a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, which adds additional prebiotic fiber and creates an environment where the beneficial bacteria can truly thrive. I want to share another patient story here. His name is Robert, 68 years old, from Birmingham, England. He came to me not for a physical ailment, but because he described a creeping sense of sadness and mental cloudiness that had been settling over him for 2 years. After blood work and a detailed dietary analysis, we found his gut health was in a state of significant dysbiosis, meaning the bad bacteria were outnumbering the good ones. We made targeted dietary changes, including 1 banana per day along with other prebiotic foods. 4 months later, Robert told me his wife said she had her husband back. I still get emotional thinking about that conversation. And now we have arrived at number 1, the most powerful benefit of eating 1 banana every day, and the one that most people, including many in the medical community, are simply not connecting to this ordinary fruit. We are talking about cardiovascular protection at the cellular level, specifically the protection of your arterial walls against a process called endothelial dysfunction. Let me explain what that means in plain English. Your arteries are lined with a single layer of cells called the endothelium. Think of it as the inner paint on a pipe. When you're young, that lining is smooth, flexible, and produces a chemical called nitric oxide that keeps your blood vessels relaxed and open. As you age, that lining becomes damaged by inflammation, oxidative stress, and high blood pressure. After 65, most adults have measurable endothelial dysfunction, which is the early stage precursor to heart attack, stroke, and kidney disease. It is largely silent, you won't feel it, but it is happening. Bananas contain a compound called epicatechin, a flavonoid that has been shown to directly stimulate nitric oxide production in your arterial lining. A landmark study from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine found that adults over 60 who consumed foods high in epicatechin showed a 28% improvement in endothelial function scores over 16 weeks. Combined with the potassium we discussed earlier, which directly lowers the pressure your blood exerts on those arterial walls, a daily banana is working on your cardiovascular system from two completely different and complementary angles simultaneously. Eat it in the morning alongside a small square of dark chocolate, which is another rich source of epicatechin. The two together have been shown in peer-reviewed research to produce an additive effect on nitric oxide production that is greater than either food alone. Scientific references for everything I've shared today are listed in the description below. Let me leave you with something I say to my patients, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It is never too late. No matter how many years have passed, no matter what your current health looks like, your body retains a remarkable ability to heal, adapt, and improve when you give it the right support. The decisions you make starting today, something as simple as adding one banana to your morning, can shift the trajectory of your next decade in ways that may genuinely surprise you. Independence, vitality, sharpness of mind, these are not things reserved only for the young. They are things you can work toward and protect at any age. Your quality of life in your 70s, your 80s, and beyond is not entirely written yet. You still hold the pen. Thank you so much for watching today. It truly means everything to me that you spend your time here, and I do not take that trust lightly. If this video helped you, please subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone you care about. Now I have one final question for you. Do you personally struggle with any of the issues we talked about today? Low energy, joint pain, heart health concerns, or memory changes? Or perhaps someone in your family is dealing with these challenges. If so, write their name or how they are related to you right down in the comments. It could be your spouse, your sibling, your parent, or a dear friend. And please share this video with them directly. You might be giving them something more valuable than you realize. I'll see you in the next one.